They wear masks so perfect that at first you cannot tell the difference between truth and deception. They smile when you win. They nod when you speak. They clap when the crowd claps. But deep down, their heart beats with a rhythm that is not for you, but against you. This is the mask of friendship, a disguise crafted to blend in but never to belong. And if you look closely, if you pay attention, the cracks in that mask always reveal themselves. Fake friends are not enemies in plain sight. They are shadows pretending to be light. They approach with warmth, but behind the warmth is calculation. They know the right words, but their tone lacks sincerity. Psychology teaches us that the human brain struggles to maintain deception over time. It takes energy to pretend. It takes effort to hold up a mask. And sooner or later, fatigue betrays them. Their mask slips when your success threatens their comfort. Their smile fades when your growth outpaces their expectations. Watch closely, and you'll see it. The friend who was always there when you were struggling suddenly grows silent when you rise. The one who offered advice when you were weak suddenly withdraws when you stand strong. A real friend is proud when you shine. A fake one is unsettled. They pretend to clap, but inside their hands are clenched with envy. This shift is not random. It is psychological. It is the battle between admiration and resentment always wins in the mind of a fake friend. Research in social psychology shows that genuine connection is built on empathy. Real friends feel your victories as if they were their own. Fake friends, however, experience something different, a subtle pain known as schadenfreude in reverse. They secretly enjoy your struggles and quietly resent your wins. This is why their support is conditional. They love you when you're beneath them, but when you rise above, their true feelings leak through. The mask of friendship is most visible in small moments. It's in the delayed reply when you share good news. It's in the backhanded compliment disguised as humor. It's in the way they minimize your achievements with a careless shrug. These are not accidents. These are glimpses behind the mask. Fake friends cannot celebrate you without reminding themselves of their own lack. They cannot lift you up without feeling like they are being pushed down. And so their mask begins to weaken. You must understand, fake friends do not betray you loudly. They betray you silently, not with knives in the back, but with absence in your moments of triumph, not with words of hate, but with indifference when you needed love. They pretend so well that if you are not awake, you will miss the signs. But once you awaken, once you see the cracks, the mask becomes transparent. You begin to notice how their energy shifts, how their presence feels heavy, how their support feels rehearsed. And when you notice, you cannot unsee it. This is where your strength must rise. Do not beg for their sincerity. Do not demand loyalty from those who were never loyal. The mask they wear is not for your protection. It is for their survival. They need to stay close enough to benefit from you, but far enough to avoid truly celebrating you. That is their psychology. That is their strategy. And your role is not to fix them, but to free yourself. Silence becomes your weapon. Distance becomes your shield. By observing without reacting, you take away the power of their disguise. Fake friends thrive on your blindness. They rely on your hope that they are genuine. But the moment you stop ignoring the signs, the moment you trust the truth you feel deep inside, their mask begins to lose its purpose. They cannot fool someone who no longer seeks validation from them. Understand this, the mask of friendship is not about them. It is about you. It is about your ability to see, to discern, and to act. Every time you ignore the cracks, you give them permission to drain you. Every time you excuse their silence, you accept betrayal as normal. But the day you choose clarity, the day you decide that peace matters more than pretending, the mask no longer controls you. And when the mask falls, so does their power. They lose the access they once abused. They lose the comfort of your presence. They lose the ability to feed off your light while secretly resenting it. Their mask was only ever strong because you allowed it. But once you see, once you know, once you step back, you reclaim the strength that was always yours. The mask of friendship is fragile. It cannot survive the eyes of someone who has learned to value themselves. It cannot endure the silence of someone who no longer reacts. It cannot live in the presence of someone who chooses solitude over betrayal. When you embrace this truth, you will no longer fear fake friends. You will thank them, for they reveal the importance of discernment, of boundaries, and of self-respect. And in the end, their mask is nothing more than a reminder that your spirit is too bright to be dimmed by false light. eyes never lie. Words can deceive, smiles can be faked, but the eyes always reveal the truth. They are the mirror of the soul, the place where masks crack and emotions escape. When you stand before a real friend, their eyes glow with warmth. You see care, presence, and sincerity. But when you stand before a fake one, you notice something else. Silence. Not the peaceful silence of understanding, but the cold silence of emptiness. It is a void, a blankness that tells you they are here in body but absent in spirit. This is the silence in their eyes. Psychologists explain that humans are wired to mirror the emotions of those they value. It's called emotional resonance. When someone truly cares for you, their gaze responds to your feelings. Your joy brings them joy. Your pain brings them concern. But fake friends cannot mirror your emotions because their hearts are not with you. Instead, their eyes betray distraction, envy, or indifference. They might say the right words, but their gaze lingers with disconnection, and if you are awake, you will feel it immediately. The silence in their eyes shows itself at moments when connection should be strongest. You share an achievement, expecting pride, but their eyes dim instead of light. You share your pain, expecting empathy, but their gaze drifts as if your suffering is irrelevant. They nod, they smile, they respond, but the depth is missing. What you see is not presence, but performance. Their eyes are a curtain, carefully drawn to hide what lies behind resentment, comparison, or lack of genuine care. This silence is not random. It is the psychology of envy. Research shows that envious people often struggle with authentic eye contact. Looking into your joy reminds them of their own dissatisfaction. Looking into your growth highlights their own stagnation. So they look, but they do not see. They listen, but they do not feel. The silence in their eyes is the quiet confession of a truth their mouth will never admit, that your presence threatens them. You will notice this silence in subtle ways. When you laugh, their eyes don't brighten. When you share hope, their gaze doesn't carry it back. When you look for comfort, all you find is stillness. Their silence is louder than words, and once you learn to read it, you will never be blind again. For the eyes are always honest, even when the tongue is skilled at lies. Do not underestimate how powerful this realization is. People reveal themselves most when they think they are hiding. A fake friend believes their rehearsed words will fool you, but their eyes are untrained, uncontrolled, unable to hold the performance. This is where your strength lies, not in what they say, but in what they cannot hide. You do not need to argue. You do not need to confront. You only need to see. And seeing changes everything. Many fail to trust this instinct. They dismiss it, convincing themselves that maybe they misread, maybe they imagined. But emotional intelligence teaches that your intuition is sharper than you believe. The human brain processes micro-expressions in less than a second. You feel the silence in their eyes even before you can explain it. That discomfort you sense, that sudden emptiness in their gaze, it is not imagination. It is truth, whispering to you to pay attention. This silence is also a warning, for if someone cannot celebrate your light, they will eventually try to dim it. If they cannot feel joy in your presence, they will slowly drain it. The silence in their eyes foreshadows future betrayal, future disappointment, future withdrawal. By recognizing it early, you save yourself from greater pain later. You learn who is truly with you and who is only standing beside you for convenience. The key is not to fear this silence, but to honor it. Once you see it, do not deny it. Do not beg them to feel what they cannot. Do not demand warmth from someone whose eyes have already confessed their distance. The silence in their eyes is your clarity. It gives you the freedom to decide, to protect your peace, to step back without guilt. Your power is not in exposing them. Your power is in quietly stepping away, in choosing to surround yourself with eyes that shine with sincerity, not emptiness. Eyes that mirror your joy, not your downfall. Eyes that hold you with presence, not calculation. That is the circle you deserve. And the silence of false eyes only makes you value the light of true ones even more. So remember this truth. When words confuse you, when actions seem mixed, always look at the eyes. They will tell you everything. They will show you who celebrates you and who secretly competes with you, who loves you and who only pretends, who is loyal and who is waiting for your weakness. Fake friends can perfect their masks, but their eyes remain untrained. Their silence is the confession they cannot control. Eyes never lie. They speak a language that words cannot cover. They whisper the truth even through the noise of performance. Learn to listen, learn to trust, and once you do, you will never again be fooled by the silence in their eyes. Envy is poison. It corrodes friendships, distorts hearts, and turns admiration into resentment. It is silent, yet deadly. It rarely shouts, but it always whispers. And when it hides inside a friend, it becomes the most dangerous toxin of all. For envy does not show itself through direct hatred. It disguises itself as laughter, as advice, as subtle gestures of care. But underneath, it is rooted in comparison, in insecurity, in a desperate need to measure your growth against their own. Psychology reveals that envy is not about you, it is about them. It is born when someone feels threatened by what you represent. Your success becomes their reminder of failure. Your light becomes their shadow. Your confidence becomes their insecurity. Instead of learning from your growth, they resent it. Instead of being inspired, they feel diminished. And so while they stand beside you as friends, inside they are calculating, competing, comparing. This poison of envy rarely appears in obvious ways. It drips slowly, quietly. You might notice it in a backhanded compliment, words that sound supportive but leave a sting. You're doing well, but don't get too comfortable. You might feel it in their forced laughter, the kind that does not reach the eyes. You might see it in their sudden withdrawal when you achieve something important. They are never loud in their resentment. They hide it behind masks. But the poison is there, shaping every interaction. Researchers in psychology call this covert hostility. It's aggression that hides behind civility. Fake friends infected by envy will never attack you directly. Instead, they undermine softly. They plant doubt in your mind. They question your decisions. They gossip behind your back in subtle tones. They pretend to care while secretly hoping you fall. Envy makes them two-faced, supportive when you struggle, dismissive when you rise. They want your company, but not your success. They want your presence, but not your progress. The poison of envy also explains their inconsistency. Notice how they cheer for you only when you are beneath them. Notice how their encouragement fades the moment you step into something greater. It is because envy cannot survive when someone else wins. Instead of seeing your victory as shared, they see it as theft. They believe your light somehow steals theirs. And so, they begin to resent the very person they once called a friend. The most dangerous part of envy is its invisibility. You cannot always see it, but you can feel it. Something about their energy feels heavy. Their words feel rehearsed. Their support feels conditional. Your intuition whispers that something is off. And often you silence that voice because you don't want to believe it. But ignoring the signs only allows the poison to spread deeper. Because envy does not heal by itself. It grows, it festers, and eventually it reveals itself through betrayal. You must learn to see envy not as a reflection of your worth, but as a reflection of their wounds. Envious friends are not angry at you. They are angry at themselves. They see in you what they could be but are not. They see in you the courage they lacked, the discipline they avoided, the dreams they abandoned. Your life becomes a mirror that exposes their wasted potential. And rather than face that pain, they turn it into resentment toward you. That is the psychology of envy. But here lies your strength. You cannot control their envy, but you can control your space. You cannot cleanse their poison, but you can choose not to drink it. Protecting yourself from envious friends is not selfishness, it is survival. Boundaries become your antidote. Distance becomes your medicine. Silence becomes your shield. The less access they have to your life, the less power their envy has to infect you. Do not waste time trying to cure envy in others. You cannot convince a poisoned heart to celebrate your wins. You cannot argue someone out of their own insecurities. And you do not need to. Your responsibility is not to fix their envy, but to protect your peace, to move with wisdom, to trust the signs, to separate yourself before the poison consumes you. Envy will always exist in this world. The brighter you shine, the more it will surround you. But understand this truth. Envy is powerless if you do not invite it close. Fake friends may carry poison, but they cannot inject it unless you hand them the needle. By stepping back, by protecting your energy, you deny them access. Their envy may still burn, but it will burn only within themselves, and in time, that poison will destroy them from the inside, while you continue to grow. So remember this, envy is silent, but it is never invisible. It hides in laughter, in words, in gestures. But if you watch closely, if you trust what you feel, you will see it. And once you see it, never ignore it. For the poison of envy is not just a threat to your peace, it is a declaration of who truly walks with you and who only walks beside you, waiting for the moment to see you fall. Inconsistency is the language of false loyalty. It is the crack in the foundation, the glitch in the mask, the hidden signal that someone is not truly with you. Real friends move with steadiness. Their care does not rise and fall with your circumstances. But fake friends reveal themselves in patterns of inconsistency. They show up when it benefits them. They disappear when your light outshines theirs. They support you in weakness, but withdraw when you are strong. Their presence is not anchored in loyalty, but in convenience. Psychology explains that consistency is a sign of genuine attachment. When people care, their behavior aligns across time, situations, and emotions. They are steady in joy and steady in pain. Fake friends, however, cannot sustain that steadiness. Their envy, insecurity, or hidden agenda constantly disrupts it. One day, they celebrate you. The next, they question you. One moment, they are by your side. The next, they are distant, cold, or unavailable. It is not an accident. It is the pattern of inconsistency that exposes them. Notice how they are quick to call when they need something, but silent when you need them. Notice how they are eager to celebrate your failures with comfort, but hesitant to celebrate your wins with pride. Notice how their loyalty comes and goes like a tide, never stable, always shifting. This is not love. This is not friendship. This is opportunism disguised as care. Psychologists call this conditional support. It means their presence is tied not to who you are, but to what you give them. When you are beneath them, you make them feel powerful. When you struggle, you make them feel needed. But when you rise, when you no longer rely on them, when your success reminds them of their own stagnation, they pull away, they withhold, they vanish. They punish you not with words, but with absence. This inconsistency creates confusion in your spirit. You begin to doubt yourself, wondering why their love feels unstable. You question what you did wrong. But the truth is, you did nothing wrong. Their inconsistency has nothing to do with you. It is the reflection of their own brokenness. It is their inner conflict spilling into the relationship. They cannot handle the balance of loving you while secretly envying you, and so they swing between support and sabotage, closeness and distance, kindness and coldness. Do not mistake inconsistency for busyness. Life makes people busy, but loyalty makes them consistent, even in absence. Real friends stay present. They reach out when it matters. They remain steady in energy. Fake friends, however, use busyness as a mask. They use excuses to cover their indifference. They show up only when your struggle feeds their ego or your failure makes them feel superior. Watch closely. Their pattern will reveal itself. The danger of inconsistency is its slow erosion. It drains you over time. You begin to lower your standards, accepting crumbs of support as if they are enough. You wait for them to return to the warmth they once gave, forgetting that warmth was never stable to begin with. This is how fake friends keep you bound, by giving just enough to keep you hopeful, but never enough to keep you secure. Emotional intelligence teaches us that the healthiest relationships are predictable in their care. You know where you stand. You know their love will not shift with the wind. But with fake friends, you never know. And that uncertainty is not love. It is control. They control you by making you guess, making you chase, making you hope for consistency that will never come. Here lies your strength. Do not wait for consistency where none exists. Do not beg for loyalty from a heart that does not know how to give it. Once you recognize the pattern, accept it for what it is, a red flag, not a puzzle to solve. The longer you stay in denial, the more power their inconsistency has over you. But the moment you choose clarity, you free yourself from the cycle. You must decide to build a circle of stability, not instability. Surround yourself with those whose energy does not change with circumstance. Choose friends who are steady in the storm and steady in the sunshine. Anyone who makes you question their loyalty through repeated inconsistency is showing you the truth. Believe it. Protect yourself. Step back, for no relationship can thrive on shaky ground. Inconsistency may disguise itself for a season, but it cannot last forever. Patterns always reveal truth. The friend who disappears in your strength is not your friend. The one who pulls back when you rise was never for you, and the one who shifts like shadows will never stand in your light. Do not waste your energy chasing stability in those who thrive on imbalance. Remember this: the strongest loyalty is consistent. It does not change when you succeed. It does not vanish when you shine. It does not waver when you grow. Anything less than that is not friendship. It is convenience, and convenience will abandon you the moment it no longer benefits. Inconsistency is not weakness in them. It is a weapon. It keeps you uncertain, keeps you guessing, keeps you dependent. But once you see the pattern, once you understand that their shifting is not random but intentional, you reclaim your power. You stop waiting. You stop chasing. You stop giving energy to those who never gave it back with sincerity. And in that moment, you rise above the pattern. You break the cycle. You walk away from inconsistency and you walk toward peace. For true friendship is not found in words, not found in smiles, not found in temporary gestures. It is found in consistency. And when you demand nothing less, fake friends lose their power and only the genuine remain. Observation is power. It is the silent weapon that exposes truths others try to hide. While fake friends disguise themselves with words and actions, they cannot disguise their patterns. They cannot mask the energy they carry when they think you are not watching. And this is where your strength begins. Not in arguing, not in confronting, but in observing. The eyes that watch with patience always see what the careless try to conceal. Psychology teaches us that people reveal their truest selves in unguarded moments. When they believe you are not paying attention, their authentic nature slips out. The tone of their voice changes. The expression on their face hardens. The words they use shift from support to subtle sabotage. They may not even realize it themselves. But the subconscious always leaks truth. If you choose silence over reaction, you catch these leaks. You notice what most people miss. And once you see, you can never unsee. Observation is not weakness. It is mastery. The one who speaks too quickly often misses details. The one who reacts too fast often gets blinded by emotion. But the one who observes holds control. By staying quiet, by resisting the urge to explain or defend, you give others the freedom to reveal themselves. Fake friends will eventually slip, not because you force them, but because their mask is too heavy to carry forever. You will see it in how they respond to your success. A true friend smiles with their whole being, eyes shining, voice steady. A fake friend hesitates, their celebration delayed, their tone sharp though their words sound kind. You will see it in how they speak about others when those people are not around. Gossip, criticism, belittling. These are not just habits. They are reflections of how they will one day speak about you. Observation also shows itself in the silences. Notice who grows quiet when you speak about your dreams. Notice who changes the subject when you share your achievements. Notice who avoids your eyes when you express your struggles. Silence can be just as revealing as words. It tells you where their heart truly is, whether it leans toward envy, indifference, or genuine care. The power of observation lies in patience. Most people are too desperate to know where they stand. They rush into demanding answers, confronting, exposing. But the wise do not rush. They watch. They gather evidence in silence. And in time, the truth becomes undeniable. You do not need to accuse. You do not need to prove. Their actions prove it for you. Emotional intelligence is not about reacting. It is about reading. It is about listening to what is not being said, noticing what is not being done, and understanding the gap between words and reality. Fake friends depend on your blindness. They thrive on your hope that they are genuine. But when you sharpen your observation, you break their advantage. You see the lies before they harm you. You see the betrayal before it strikes. The discipline of observation also protects your peace. It teaches you that not everyone deserves a response. Not every slight deserves a battle. Sometimes the greatest strength is to remain silent, watch carefully, and let time uncover what people work so hard to hide, because time is the ultimate revealer. The longer you watch, the clearer their pattern becomes. The person who celebrates you today but withdraws tomorrow is not consistent. The friend who supports you in private but ignores you in public is not loyal. These patterns, revealed through observation, save you from heartbreak later. Do not confuse observation with paranoia. Paranoia looks for betrayal everywhere, even when it does not exist. Observation simply waits for consistency. It does not accuse. It does not assume. It only records what is real. And in that clarity, you find freedom. You no longer waste energy defending people who never deserved your defense. You no longer hold on to bonds that were only ever illusions. Observation is also self-mastery. By watching, you learn to control yourself. You resist the impulse to react, to beg, to explain. Instead, you stand still, silent, unshaken. This unsettles fake friends more than anything. They crave reaction. They want to see you doubt, panic, or chase. But when you remain silent and simply observe, they lose their grip. Their games no longer work because you no longer play. The most powerful victories are won without words. They are won through clarity, through patience, through watching someone reveal themselves without your help. And when they do, you do not need revenge. You do not need to expose them. Their actions expose them far better than you ever could. All you must do is step back and let their truth destroy their mask. Remember this, the power of observation is not about others. It is about you. It sharpens your vision, strengthens your spirit, and protects your peace. It teaches you to trust what you see, to honor what you feel, and to act from knowledge instead of emotion. And once you master it, you will never again be blindsided by betrayal. You will never again be deceived by the masks of false friends. Observation is power, and the one who observes in silence is the one who always walks away stronger. The emotional boundary starts with power. There is a strength that few people ever master. It is not the strength of the body. It is not the power of words. It is the invisible wall you place around your heart. This wall is not built from anger. It is built from wisdom. It is called the emotional boundary. Fake friends hate it because it denies them the control they crave. It is the silent shield that separates your peace from their poison. Without boundaries, you will be drained, manipulated, and left empty. With boundaries, you reclaim your life. You take back your power. You teach the world how you deserve to be treated. Fake friends reveal themselves the moment you set emotional limits. Watch how they react when you say no. See how they shift when you refuse to carry their burdens. A true friend respects your boundary. A false one resents it. A boundary exposes loyalty. It is the ultimate test of character. Because toxic people want access, not balance. They want your energy, not your growth. And when you guard your emotions, they suffocate. The psychology is simple. People feed on what you allow. If you let them drain you, they will keep drinking. If you let them cross the line, they will keep stepping. But once you draw that invisible line, everything changes. The weak fall away. The manipulators panic. The envious retreat. Boundaries break illusions. They strip away the fake smiles and empty words. They leave only truth behind. That truth may hurt, but it will free you. Emotional boundaries are not walls to keep love out. They are doors to keep toxicity from walking in uninvited. They protect your soul from the subtle theft of fake affection. They guard your spirit against the poison of disguised envy. They shield you from the weight of people who never intended to lift you up. Setting a boundary is not cruelty. It is self-respect. It is the declaration that your peace is sacred. When you build this power, silence becomes your ally. You no longer need to explain, defend, or justify. Your boundary speaks for you. It says, this is how I choose to live. This is how far you may go. This is where I begin and you end. Those who truly care will honor it without resistance. Those who only pretend will fight it, mock it, or abandon you. Let them go, because their leaving is not your loss. Is your liberation. Psychology proves that emotional intelligence begins with limits. You cannot master your emotions while allowing others to control them. You cannot grow in strength while carrying the weight of those who secretly wish you weak. Boundaries are not selfishness. They are survival. They are the silent power move of people who know their worth. And every fake friend will expose themselves in the shadow of your limit. So build the boundary, not from anger, not from fear, but from clarity. Build it high enough that toxicity cannot climb. Build it strong enough that envy cannot break. Build it quiet enough that only those who respect you will hear its message. Fake friends will try to shame you. They will say you are cold. They will say you have changed. And they are right. You have changed. You are stronger. You are wiser. You are no longer their victim. Remember this, your emotional boundary is not a prison. It is a fortress. And within it, your peace becomes untouchable. Your energy becomes pure. Your soul becomes whole. Fake friends cannot survive in that space. Only truth can. Only respect can. Only love can. And when you stand inside that fortress, you will finally see your strength was never in pleasing others. Your strength was in protecting yourself. That is the secret. The emotional boundary is the line between weakness and power, between illusion and reality, between fake friends and real ones. Guard it with your life, because it is the wall that keeps your spirit free. The silent withdrawal starts with power. There comes a moment when you no longer need to fight. No arguments, no explanations, no desperate attempts to prove your worth. Instead, you choose the most powerful act of all, silence. Silent withdrawal is not weakness. It is not surrender. It is strategy. It is the calm decision to remove your energy from those who never deserved it. Fake friends collapse under this move because their power relies on your presence, your attention, your reaction. When you walk away without a word, you shatter their illusion of control. Psychology calls this detachment. It is the art of disconnecting emotionally while staying in full control of yourself. Toxic people thrive on chaos. They want you to respond, to argue, to explain. Every word you speak becomes fuel for their manipulation. But when you withdraw in silence, you give them nothing, no fuel, no reaction, no access. You starve the fire they tried to light in your life. And that emptiness is something they cannot handle. Fake friends often mask themselves with charm. They will flatter you when they need you. They will disappear when you need them. Their loyalty is not loyalty at all. It is convenience. But once you stop giving, they reveal their truth. Silent withdrawal is the mirror that shows them who they really are. It leaves them facing their own emptiness without the distraction of your energy. There is power in refusing to explain yourself. You owe no one an explanation for protecting your peace. Fake friends will demand it because explanations give them something to twist. Silence denies them that chance. Silence says, I see you for who you are, and I will not play your game. This is not avoidance, it is strength. It is emotional intelligence at its highest form. It is the recognition that some battles are not worth fighting because walking away is the victory. The psychology behind silent withdrawal is rooted in boundaries. When you pull back your presence, you reclaim your space. You send a clear message, I will not allow myself to be drained. This act forces toxic people into exposure. Without you to lean on, they stumble. Without you to manipulate, they reveal their desperation. Silent withdrawal unmasks the fake by removing the stage they perform on. Do not confuse this with bitterness. Withdrawal is not about hate. It is about clarity. It is about choosing peace over noise. It is about stepping out of circles that no longer align with your growth. And the beauty of it is this: real friends will never fear your silence. They will respect it. They will understand it. They will reach out with love instead of guilt. Only the fake will panic, attack, or vanish. And when they do, you will finally see who was true all along. Think of your energy as currency. Every reaction, every word, every argument costs something. Fake friends are debt collectors who never repay. Silent withdrawal is the decision to close the account. No more loans of your time. No more interest-free credit of your emotions. You cut the supply, and in that moment, you protect your wealth, your inner wealth. Many fear silence because they mistake it for loneliness, but silence is not loneliness. It is freedom. It is space to heal. It is clarity to see yourself without distortion. Silent withdrawal is the reset button of the soul. It allows you to rebuild without interruption. And from that silence, strength grows, confidence grows, self-respect grows. These are the things toxic people cannot stand to see. The truth is this: fake friends do not lose you. They lose access to you. And that difference is everything. Withdrawal does not mean you disappear forever. It means you choose wisely where you show up. It means you no longer waste your light in places that celebrate your darkness. Silent withdrawal is the highest form of self-preservation. It is not about punishing them. It is about protecting you. So walk away, quietly, calmly, with dignity. Do not announce it. Do not warn them. Do not explain. Just retreat into your silence and let it speak louder than your words ever could. Because silence carries weight, silence carries truth, and silence will expose what noise never could. That is the essence of power. Silent withdrawal is not an escape, it is a return to yourself, to your peace, to your worth. Fake friends will hate it, but your spirit will thank you. The strength of solitude starts with power. There is a kind of power that does not come from others. It does not come from crowds. It does not come from validation. It rises in the silence of being alone. Solitude is not loneliness. It is not emptiness. It is the sacred ground where you meet yourself. Fake friends fear solitude because they know it is where you discover your strength. They thrive when you are afraid to be alone, when you cling to their presence just to fill the silence. But the moment you embrace solitude, you free yourself from their control. You no longer need their approval, their attention, or their false love. You stand on your own, unshaken. Psychology reveals this truth. Solitude builds resilience. In stillness, your mind resets. In silence, your emotions heal. When you are alone, you learn to listen to your own voice without distortion. This inner clarity is what toxic people cannot stand, because once you know yourself deeply, you can no longer be deceived. You see through masks. You sense hidden intentions. You understand who truly adds to your life and who only takes. Solitude sharpens your vision until fake friends can no longer hide in the shadows. Most fear solitude because society glorifies constant connection. People believe being surrounded means being loved. But numbers do not equal loyalty. Crowds do not equal care. Many stand beside you only when it benefits them. Many smile with you only until envy rises. But solitude strips away the noise. It leaves you with only truth. And though that truth may feel heavy, it is liberating. You learn that you are enough without their applause. You learn that your worth is not measured by who stands beside you, but by the strength that carries you when no one else is there. The strength of solitude is the power of self-reliance. When you sit in silence, you train yourself not to depend on validation. You break the addiction to false comfort, and in doing so, you disarm the manipulator. Fake friends cannot trap you when you no longer fear being alone. They cannot control you when your peace does not depend on their presence. This is why solitude is the greatest weapon against toxic connections. It leaves you untouchable. Research in emotional psychology shows that solitude enhances self-awareness and emotional intelligence. It allows you to process feelings without outside interference. When you step away from the noise of fake friendships, you begin to notice patterns. You see how they drain your energy. You realize how much you were giving without receiving. And you feel the calm return when their voices fade. This awareness strengthens your boundaries. It teaches you to recognize the difference between real love and disguised convenience. Solitude is not isolation, it is elevation. It is the climb to higher ground where only clarity exists. From this place, you no longer beg for attention. You no longer chase approval. You no longer fear loss, because you understand that losing fake friends is not a loss at all. It is a gift. It is the clearing of space for something purer, something stronger, something true. Many will not understand your solitude. They will call you distant. They will call you cold. But remember, their confusion is proof of your growth, because fake friends cannot comprehend power that does not need them. True friends, however, will respect your solitude. They will honor your space. They will remain even when you